Hello guys, welcome back to today's video of Career Advice. So, how are you doing all and how are you learning? So please do let me know. Please do keep commenting and please do keep mailing to our inbox so that it will encourage us to more such contents. I'm just repeating the same lines. So what we are going to learn today, before that, please do like, subscribe, share and among your friends and colleagues so that it will encourage us and it will reach to the higher audience where people will be more benefit out of it, including you, sir. So what we are going to learn today, so today we are going to talk about payment cards process, and we'll talk about the revenue distribution configs and its process as well, its example. We'll take a case study and how we will implement it within the utility sector. We will show the complete example and complete case study, and there will be a task given to you as well to take the case study and implement it in your server. If you got any queries on top of it, don't hesitate to drop us any comment. Don't hesitate to drop us an email, and we will address those queries for sure. So then, so then let's start the class, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you. Let's begin. Thank you.
Now, till now, we understand at the cashless level, the payment is happening, but it is also possible the payment can be done through cards, to any type of card like debit card, credit card, Visa card, MasterCard, any type of card. Now, what is the difference between paid by cash or paid by card? Okay, both things are almost same, but the new requirement is come with the card is that we need to identify the card and the ID of that person. We have the identification as business partner, but the card identification need to be matched with this person. Okay. Now, it may be a different person who is paying, but still then we need to understand who is paying and from which card the amount is coming. Okay. And this is also required for the bank. Okay. So like payment card details, for the details, we need the issuing bank and the card institution detail. Who issued that card? Issue payment card to the customers. Customer request for the which kind of goods or services he requested from the company to whom he is paying. And all these details are actually required by the bank. The bank is need all the details. Okay, make payment to the company's bank, receive payment from the customer. Why all these details required? Because when somebody is paying card and some dispute arises, it is difficult to give him back the money. Okay, if the card details we don't have. So that's how we need all these details. Okay, now how to configure the cards? You need to configure the cards at the configuration level. Like here it is showing the business transactions and payments, incoming, outgoing payment cards, define account, payment card, institutions. Now you need to integrate the bank here. Define the account for posting settlement document. Okay, so the file is dfkkopkh. This is the event for which we are integrating the cards. Okay. Just a minute. Now, apart from payment cards, what more? By which process we can do the payment? Okay. So the next process is if you pay by check. Okay. Check is very similar to cash, but it is not like it's not like the same as cash. Now, when somebody is paid by a check, the most important is check creation. Okay. Because check creation means on whose name the check need to be generated, and those details need to be done, checked. Okay. So there are now all these are files format replacing all the details. Now, if somebody is paid or amount is done, we need to check the status, whether the status is open, means the payment is done or not. If it is not done, it's open. or if the payment is scanned by cash, we mention that cash. If it is invalid, like check, so we say that the check is invalid, and if the amount is not yet cleared, it is locked. Okay. Now, in that case, first we need to get the check, convert that into, means understand that person who he each send to the bank. Bank get the check, the check deposit happened to the bank, then that bank is encashed to the utility bank. Okay, and that's how the open item get closed. All the information it will flow. Okay, now previously, means probably not now, 20 years back, everything is flow by floppies, by hard drives, like that. Now everything is gone through safe channels by internet. So somebody is paid by check. We check the check. During the check creation, we make him understand, just put all these fields. What are the fields you need to put, to whom it need to be paid. The customer did that, provide the check. Check will be considered as the cash, but that cash need to be, that check need to deposit to a customer's bank. Customer's bank will check all the status of the check, and once it is cleared, it is encashed to the utility bank, and that's how the account gets closed. Okay. So that's how the check payment happens. So card payment, check payment. In card payment, we need the identification of the institution who provide the card. And in check payment, we need the bank. Means in the check, we'll get the details, but it should be in the name of the utility company. So the check creation is important. Now, debit, direct debit, and repayment. Direct debit is another kind of payment. Direct debit means the customer is there. Okay, it's very the customer is linked to the utility company. He provided all the banking information to the utility company, and he provided a particular date. So every month on that same date, automatically the amount will come to the bank. Okay, that is called direct debit. The customer need not to involve. He just put the money into the account, and from the account it automatically deducted and come to the bank. So that is called direct debit. So direct debit or repayment, the customization happen on this screen where we mention the check management. So check management or direct debit. Okay. So now for a check, there may be different conditions, like if the check is not coming, void check, like that's not coming, then we generate some letters or some warning to the customer that your check is bounced. You need to pay back again. Your account don't have enough money. So those kind of things also we need to customize for the check payment. All right. Next is FSCM biller. Now FSCM is a very new concept. FSCM means financial supply chain management billing. It is mostly through internet. So through internet, the payment will come. And these days, people are using it very high. So when we use that, the basic thing when the FSCM billing happen, the notification, the electronic notification need to be created and sent to the customer. The customer should have web access. Okay, then only he can pay. Display of all items for citizen account, whether it's open, paid, or payment is arranged. Like he is paid, but it need to be clear after 2 days or 3 days. So payment date he can control by his own. So that things are displayed for the customer constantly. Payment of the open items can be done through credit card, debit card, or direct bank accounts. That also can be done. Okay. Now, sometime it happens somebody paid wrongly, he recalled the payment. So that condition also should be there. Like we give them multiple screens to see and check whether the payment is done correctly or not. If everything authorization cleared, then he will allow to pay. So recall of the payment also possible. Like we give them some window within that they recollect that. Finally, payment authorization. So these kind of FSCM payment done through third party. So third party need to provide some interfaces and authorization to the company on whose behalf it is collecting the money. And at the end, the display of the bill and the history, whatever he paid till date, those things need to be available on the web. But during this payment, there are two major stuff happen. Like there is a contract one and contract account one and contract account two. Okay, for a single business partner, and both try to pay at one go. So what will happen? So in that case, we need to consider these different receivable type. Like contract account one is a water contract. Contract account two would be a electricity contract. So if the receivable types are different, we should collect that simultaneously. Now, as it is different, that means the company code should be different, the ledger should be different, the posting should be different. But if they both are same, then in that case, we need to consider we should lock one of the contract. Okay, if two same for same contract account, both persons are trying to pay. Let it be husband and wife both trying to pay. So we lock one and we allow other. But if they both are different receivable types like water or gas, then we accept both the amount. Now, once we accept, we generate an email for the customer, sent to the customer with their details, whatever the account details are there, and all those information will send to him. And once we receive the money, it will go to the accounts. So email sent to the customer, amount goes to the against the accounts, and the posting done, and the bill get closed. Okay. Now these things are under FICO, whereas these things are under your CRM part. Now, if you consider all this stuff automatic clearance process of FSCM, then you can see the payment is directly coming from the contract account one for bill 100 rupees was there, so he paid 100. It coming to the payment history, and the table is DFK RTI, and it sent back to the contract account, to the agencies. Okay. Now, if there is agency means the third party from whom we have the contact. So you can see contract account one and contract account two. Whatever the payment is coming from contract account one and contract account two, at the end we reconcile and send to the agency that we collected 150. Okay, so he can understand that okay, this money is clear. So to configure the customization of the revenue distribution, you can use this link. Okay. So today we just understand what are the incoming ways or the payment methods or the ways we get the money or we collect the money, like from cashless, by check, by cards, by automatic payment, by internet, by auto debit. So there are a lot of type of payments or collections processes. So when we consider to implement a project, we need to understand all this stuff. What are the services or what are the payment processes the utility wants to configure into the system. Based on that, we do this. Okay, any questions? So most of the time what happened, the business people, they don't know exactly about SAP. So they don't only know about business processes, what is going on. That too, they know only the part of their role. So a utility company has a lot of processes, and in a simple utility company, there would be people, the counts would be in, we can say in thousands. So 50,000 to 200,000 people work in utilities. I saw big utilities having more than 2,000 people, 2,000K. That means around 2 lakh, more than 2 lakh people. So, so they will give you generic statements. So similarly, I'll give you generic statement. You need to map that to the FICA. So I'm considering a company which has a operation in multiple cities. So the first point is the operation are with multiple cities. In multiple cities, and in each city they have different companies. Like for northern side they have north grid, for south side south grid, like that. So each city they have different company codes. They have different companies, and they have total 4 companies, like North Grid, south grid, east and west grid. Okay, and what? How many customer base? The customer base is around. Let's consider customer base is around. What is the population of Kolkata? Around 1,000 crore, 1,000 K. Okay, and how many types of customers? There are majorly three types of customers. Hmm, like domestic, industrial, and commercial. So you know what is commercial customer? Commercial customers are like the small businesses. Industrial customers are the production units. Domestic customers are like the family customers. Okay. Um, they collect the money. They collect the money from any bank. They collect the money against the invoices, or the payment can be done from any bank. The payment customers can pay uh, pay the invoices from any city and in any bank, right? I'm not putting in any currency, so that will be more difficult. So customer can pay the invoices from any city and any bank, uh, post office. Okay, right, that much. But they can pay in any mode as well. In any mode. Any mode means they can pay in check, cash, direct debit, DD. Okay. Next, the uh, customer has options. Should have options. Customer should have options to pay advance or take installation plan. Okay, so that means the customer has options to advance payment and installation plan should be there. Okay. Uh, the payment need to be clear on due date. Else, customer need to get notice. In how many steps? In almost 8 steps. First is soft letter. Like information you didn't pay on this date, we are giving you more 30 days like that. Then hard letter, like we ask them, if you will not pay, we'll disconnect your electricity, pay within time. Then very hard letter, very harsh letter they call. So they'll ask them, if you will not pay, the discussion connection already done, whatever the remaining money will recover by legal action. Okay. Then legal notice. Okay. Finally, if it is not done, so we transfer that to transfer or write off. So transfer means we are selling that open item to somebody else who can recover that. Write off means we are clearing that totally for that person. Okay. Apart from that, that person means there should be daily clearing reports, okay, and payment reports. Clearing report is okay. Daily clearing report should be there. So most of the stuff, as I mentioned, is generic in nature, but when I'm telling operations are in multiple cities, so from there you can understand there will be multiple cash desk. There would be different companies in each segment. So you need to understand there would be a company code, single company code. Below that, there will be multiple company codes. So group company code would be one, but the company code may be different. But you can understand if the company code differs, the posting would be different. So that's how when you design a single company code. Below that, how you can allocate the other companies as the child companies. Okay. Customer base is more than uh, like 1 crore. So you need to understand how the number ranges need to be mapped. Okay. So at least it will consume for next 10 years. Okay. So 10 crore means 10 to the power, sorry, 1 crore means 10 to the power 8. So you need to understand how much receipt, how much invoices get generated. So based on that, you have to be fix your number ranges. And majorly 3 type of customer: domestic, industrial, commercial. This is a very high level. So from domestic, industrial, and commercial, the rules would be differ. For domestic customer, the clearing rule, other stuff would be different. For industrial and commercial would be different. The taxation, the surcharges, the default amounts will be different for each of them. So that you need to understand. So that means you have different tax code, different clearing groups. So that need to be configured. Customer can pay the invoice from any cities, any bank, post office, in any mode. So that is also explaining the details regarding the how the incoming payment is going to happen. It may in check, cash, DD, online, any card payment. So that need to be configured. Customer should have option to pay in advance. That means advance payment option should be there. I didn't put any budget billing concept because budget billing will again link to you to billing uh, and installation plans. That means if somebody is not able to pay, you can convert that into installation plans. The payment need to be clear on due date. Yes, customer need to get notice. This is the dunning process. There are 5 steps of dunning. Here I'll explain, and the write-off should be there at the end. There should be daily clearing reports. These are the reports, and one more step would be there. Okay. Security payment need to be collected. Collected before any contract. Okay, that means if somebody is doing some inquiry, so the business partner will get created because that is a prospect business partner, then the security money can be collected before any contract. Okay. And if the security money is collected and all this stuff is happening, one major step is the interest calculation and the tax calculation should be taken care. Okay. So I'll put like the interest calculation. Sorry. Calculation and tax calculation should be taken care. Okay. So are you able to do this? It's a very simple scenario. As I mentioned in SPRO, in IMG, we have everything in a very sequence manner. Okay. When you go to do any configuration, we get very simply. And in my videos, you can find the path. In the document, you can find the path. And then you start configuration. But before configuration, as I mentioned, prepare one Excel sheet, create the whole solution, and then go for the configuration. Okay. All good?